Okay, this is Bonsai Anonymous, video number 2 of the Hal Graham warm-up, and what I've got to do is find the third page of it because I don't seem to have it here. Is that true? I don't know where it is. Okay, we'll find it in any event. We'll find what it was. But now I'm going to continue with the lip buzzes. That's not true. Continue with the mouthpiece buzzes. Up to the next partial, which would be an E written. And here's our G again, we're going to say. And we're going to do that up to the E using the lips. It's better just to play it rather than try to explain it. Okay, that wasn't great, but it'll work. Next is double pedals. I move my camera here so I can read what it says. Okay, so all we do is take a low note on the horn. This is with the horn. And do a pedal with it. Okay, so it's not locking in very well. But here is the key to this, and there is a key to it. Double pedals. And I haven't really heard this explained anywhere else except by my teacher who got it from Hal Graham. And he studied with Hal and he studied with Carmine at various times. And he explained this to me, how it's to be done. And I would never have guessed it. Here's how it's to be done. What you do is you take your upper lip, put it in the mouthpiece like this. Lower lip's not in there. So the upper lip is vibrating, if that's what it's doing, against the bottom of the mouthpiece rather than against the lip. Okay, sort of like that. And it takes a while for this to work, and even getting the first one is tough. The double pedal C is hard. I think I heard it a second ago, so maybe I can get it again. But the deal is that you just play it an octave lower, and then you play it 2 octaves lower with the mouthpiece, the lip in the mouthpiece. So I didn't do that. Let me try again. Okay, that's the lamest double pedal C in history. But sooner or later, as you do these, they're going to start to get some edge to them and some bite and some volume. Hal could play these, take the roof off with them. He could also play a high F that would take the roof off. So he was the proof of his own pudding. So let's try that. That's a C. Here's a B. This is easier with the practice medium, by the way. It's a lot more resistance. That's a good reason to do it. I'm having a little trouble with the B, but let's try the low one. So initially, at least for me, it takes fooling around, and sometimes you kind of luck into the note. That last one I just happened to stumble into, and once you have the pitch, try to maintain it. Lips aren't used to doing this. At least, certainly no one's lips are used to doing it that never did it. But even if you haven't done it for 10 years or so, it's tricky. There's a B flat. I forgot to say that you could also do the regular pedals this way, and it makes it easier. Let's try that. Well, maybe not. It's not working that way today. Okay, keep going. It really does work your muscles to try to hold that note. And working your muscles on a low note that's all right, I think. Here's an A. Almost. Now, if I'm able to keep doing this for some days, which is always a question, depending on some things, which I usually don't talk about here, and I'm not going to right now. But if I keep doing it for a few days, these will get easier and easier. And I'll show you something in a second that I'm going to be able to do easily in a couple of days. A flat. Wow, that's murky, isn't it? G. It's funny because when you're doing this G, which is way below the staff, almost feels like a high note. Steady air is crucial for this. Any wavering, it just goes up and down, and there's no way. That's why I may not be able to do it, but maybe keep working on it. Also, shaking doesn't help. But I got the note, I heard it. F sharp. Okay, that's going to count for today. It's the first time. Now next, what he wants to do, and I'm almost certain I won't be able to do this, is once you get familiar with playing in that double pedal register, he wants you to play triads and melodies and stuff with it, scales. I don't know that I could do that, but I'll try. I'm going to try the low pedal C. I made it down to an F sharp, but not back up. Okay, that's enough fooling around for that, for one day. Okay, next. And one thing that works great here that also works in AA, actually it works pretty much everywhere, and that's progress, not perfection. And that suits me because a lot of the things that I like to do are that way, that you just make progress on them. Seems to me a lot of my things are that way. Bonsai is certainly one of them. Art, working on art, learning about it, where you can see that you're getting somewhere. Right? Why would you want to do anything that's that patience demanding and tedious at times, unless you get something out of it? Right? And that's the same way with the trumpet. Why would you play the trumpet unless you get something out of it? If it's total pain for you and it sucks, maybe it's not for you. But even if it's sort of pain and it sort of sucks, it could be for you. And that's my situation. Never had chops. Well, no, it's not true. I had chops for a little while. And then I got my teeth fixed unknowingly. So let me just throw a pitch in there. By the way, I still have hair. Not much though. It's receding. It's like the opposite of the coastline. The coastline's coming in and my hair is going out at the same time. So being willing to do this and accept even no progress and keep going, or even accept a setback and keep going. That's kind of what it's all about with the trumpet. I'm sure it's true for other musical instruments too. I just happen to play the trumpet the most. And so anyway, enough of that. The next thing on the agenda is something called brush tonguing. And this is, I'll read what he says. Brush tonguing is produced when the tongue lightly brushes the top of the mouth, somewhere, producing a dent in the sound. A dent. Doesn't stop the sound. La 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 la, rather than da 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 da. La 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 la. It's very similar to that. La 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 la. Except that you could do it quite a few different ways while you're talking. It's not going to affect the ability to make the sound. And then when you're playing, brushing like that while you're playing has a tendency to stop the tone. And so what you want to do is do this until you can make these dents comfortably. In another way, he explained it to me this way, which I think is good too. Imagine a faucet with water running. The water is your tone, and when you put your finger through it like that, the water keeps going. You know, it might have a little dent in it or divergence, but the water is going to keep going. And that's what we're after here. Not having it be stopped. Okay, so I'm rambling here because I'm kind of looking at the music here and trying to decide what I'm going to say. Another thing about Hal was that he believed in getting the mouthpiece position correctly, if I'm interpreting what he would say, by putting it up there short and not letting yourself mess with it. He called that short setting. In other words, as soon as the mouthpiece is where it's going to be, you make the sound. You don't futz with it. Now, some players, once they put the mouthpiece on their mouth, do things. I'm not going to say that's not good, because some of the best players in history have done that. So there's lots of different approaches to this. Hal would say, you're going to work on this until you don't have to do that, until automatically when the horn comes up, it's in position. And I'm not quite sure that's possible in all cases, because I think anchoring it with the mouthpiece helps do certain things. Although that's going to slow you down and possibly screw you up. If you're not used to just going bang, your mouth, it may let you down. Okay, so here's what you do. There's a little series of notes, And you're tapping your foot. Now, I haven't been tapping my foot so far, but tapping your foot is a very important part of Hal Graham and Carmine Caruso's method. So much so that in one of his books, Carmine shows a foot going up and down, and I think 16th notes, and you're counting ba da 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 with each foot tap, so that the timing of everything that's going to happen is synchronized. All it takes is one little thing to be out, and it's not going to work. Okay, or it will work less well. So his thing was to try to avoid those situations automatically. In other words, however you practice is going to mean that when you play, the same process is going to happen, and you need it to. That's why you're doing this. You're doing this so you can, so your embouchure can form quickly when it needs to. Okay. So the other thing is that he would remove the horn from the lips. Didn't do it during the 6 notes. Every time I've seen come and do the 6 notes, including my teacher, they keep the mouthpiece on the lip. Now, whether or not the lips are holding the embouchure position when there's no sound is something that I see variations on. But everybody leaves it on there. They don't in between. No, they don't do that. Okay, so Hal, I found little arrows on my keyboard. So when I typed this out, I was able to show how the horn goes up and down. The horn goes up on the 3rd beat, so it's, and in between, your horn's here. You know, it's like a concert band rest position. I don't know, maybe Hal was a concert band player, I don't know. But a lot of things start with like this. So what happens is I'm not going to play right now, I'm just going to show you, is you start tapping, whatever tempo. I would say not very fast is better, because this is really a long tone exercise as well. Okay, so you start tapping, and at a certain point in a measure, on the 3rd beat, you put the horn up. 1, 2, Now wherever it lands is where you play. And over time, you may find that it lands in a certain place over and over, closer and closer and closer. And that place is the place where it makes the best sound, and that's evolution. You know, we discard the diversions, you know. And what this is going to show you, I believe, is the spot where the best tone is. It's also going to help you with maintaining tone, because you're going to be denting the tone. So you 1, 2, up, and that's a breath attack. La, 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 and the is where my tongue is brushing the top of my mouth. Then after the end of that last note, down, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then the next note. And I think yeah, okay. So I just remember something that Hal said, and I didn't believe it at the time, but I certainly believe it now. He said that if you could brush tongue a high C, your professional career is guaranteed. Because that means, I mean, he didn't explain it, and we never got close to a high C. I might have nipped a G on top of the staff one time or another with doing this, but I think my interpretation of that is that the whole setup is so strong and so robust and with such stamina that literally almost a truck could come in and hit the tone, and that's your tongue, and you'd still be able to keep going. Okay, that's kind of how I see that. So anyway, to start with, I think you could use it just on a G and see if you could do it. Well, see if you can do it. So let's see if we can do it. Here we go. I'm going to start tapping. 1, 2. Okay, so beginning awful. A little later on, a few adjustments, unconscious really, subconscious adjustments, and because they're so small, it's like microdosing. The difference between stopping the tone and having the tone keep going is so slight, and it's in your mouth. You know, you're not looking in there, I hope. Okay, let's do that again, and maybe speed it up. I'm running out of air. And then go up the 6 notes to a C and see if I can do it on a tuning note C as we get there. All right, here we go. Start here. I'm going to forget this a lot, but when we do the actual short setting exercise, I think it will be quite clear. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Down, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, up. Down. 1, 2, up. Down, 2, 4, 1, 2. Down, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, up. Down, 2, 3, 4, up. Down, 2, 3, 4. And that's long enough for this video. That's basically the first page of the Hal Graham routine that I typed out. Next is yeah, I just read here that I did the tongue brushing wrong. It should have gone down from a G down to a C sharp following the pattern, the valve patterns, but that's okay. That's all right. The next thing we're going to do is something called short setting, and I thought I had 3 pages of this, but maybe I don't. This might do it. This is short setting, and we'll talk about it more next time. Bonsai Anonymous out.